You're listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk. Movie musings for mostly everyone. Welcome to Two Chunks and a Hunk. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this week I'm your hunk.
Oh. I'm Doge, and they sit there and make your children feel like garbage, and you, the chunk, who's working 24/7 delivering mail so you can make an alimony payment to a woman that slept with everybody at the post office but me.
I'm Carter, and Howard, they say it might get icy later. You might want to wrap some chunks around those tires.
Was that pretty good?
That was a very good Phil Hartman.
Almost Patrick Warburton.
I know,
it's good.
It's tough not to mix up. Dorjan? Tell me why.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
We're reviewing a movie today. It almost feels silly to say that we review movies. It's almost more of a movie discussion.
We're talking about a movie.
Right?
We're going to discuss a movie today.
We're discussing a movie today that's all about getting there first.
That's right.
Yep.
It's all about getting there first, and I got there
1917.
first. I got there first. We decorated for Christmas at my house on Saturday. So that is a full 5 days prior to this recording. 4 days prior to this recording.
Yeah. We were Monday, so you beat us by about 48 hours. So, yeah.
We put our trees up on Sunday, but we've not fluffed them yet.
Yeah.
Because we've been sick.
It's interesting. So do you put them all the way up before
Holiday
you
blues.
fluff?
Yeah.
Do you decorate before you fluff?
No.
No, you can't do that. That's dangerous.
We fluff layer by layer so it's like bottom layer of tree, fluff, then middle layer of tree, fluff, then top layer, fluff.
No way. We click everybody together and then fluff it.
So when you say you put up your trees, it's just click, 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 and then that was it?
Click, click, click. And then it was like, okay, we're going to finish this tomorrow because it was late at night. We're going to finish this tomorrow. And then woke up sick with the flu. So,
well, you didn't.
There's not really fluffing if it's a real tree, eh?
You didn't wake up sick.
Yeah, there is no fluffing if it's a real tree.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about it there. There's other things you got to worry about.
Are you a real tree boy or are you a fake tree boy?
We normally are. We weren't this year, but.
Normally are what and weren't what this year?
We normally are real tree kids, but we were not this year.
I'm never a real tree because spiders exist.
There are spiders in real trees, yeah. I think that's if you like go out to the farm and they have like the tree farm and you pick one up. Old Lady Lowe's does not really has not yet had spiders in the tree.
Certified spider-free Christmas trees.
Spider-free, certified. Yeah. But
yeah, too risky. If a spider has seen it, I don't want it.
So beyond put up tree, what do you mean when you say you decorated for Christmas? What else you guys got?
I mean, we did the whole thing.
There?
We did the whole thing. We got some garland.
What's the whole thing though? That's what I'm asking. What is it?
I was actually starting to say it, but we got some garland up. We got garland on the mantle, garland on the TV stand, over a couple windows, over the door in the kitchen. We got
garland's on the table. You can have garland anytime.
My favorite Christmas decoration that we have. So we're a house divided over here in the Wonders house. I am colorful Christmas lights all the way. Callie is all white Christmas lights. I
don't know too many people that choose all white.
Oh, we're all white. I mean, we choose all white.
That's just how she grew up.
I would prefer the classic non-LED warm color bulb.
Well, wait,
that's
what do you mean color bulb? Like
colored lights.
Just like
rainbow?
Red, blue, green.
Yeah, the classic.
Yeah, that's what I'm into. Yeah. That's what I'm into.
No way, I don't think that's the classic one. I think the classic one is the warm yellow.
That's classy. No, that's
I
want it to look like.
Sorry, I aim for classy instead of just like kind of yucky like
I'm also sorry.
tree.
I'm also sorry about that.
Yucky.
I like when it looks like Christmas puked. Our Christmas tree is covered in ornaments that we've bought on our trips or for things that we like very much. But my favorite Christmas decoration that we have, because we were house divided, we have this, it's an incredible wreath. We've had it for like 5 years. And it's just this big, thick wreath. We hang it inside our house because I don't care if people outside get to see it. It's ridiculous to me to hang a wreath outside. That's not for me. I want to see it. So we got it hanging inside on our laundry room door in our kitchen. And it alternates. It flip-flops back and forth between white light and colored light on this wreath.
I'm not a
So
big
that
fan
we
of the
can-
moving lights in the house.
We've got a twinkly on our
The
kitchen
twinkly
table.
or changey boys.
But this one, yeah, it flips back and forth between colored and white, and it makes us very happy because we both get approximately 10 seconds per flip of our favorite look on this wreath. And then you can set it to just stay one or the other. So whenever Callie leaves, I set it to just colorful lights so that it can feel right.
Yeah.
I feel
Right,
like
right.
on this podcast, every time we talk about like food or we talk about like a holiday tradition, I roll up thinking that I've got a pretty normal opinion that I think would be shared by a lot of people. And then you guys are like, that's the wildest thing I've ever heard. I watched
didn't say
Carter's
that.
face. I watched Carter's face when you're like, we hang our wreath inside. And he was like, yeah, love that. And I'm the crazy guy who
love
I
that
guess
for them.
I like to hang my wreath outside, and I guess that's controversial. I guess that's
It's
a weird
not
opinion on this
controversial.
podcast.
You're just making a lot of assumptions
that?
about my reaction.
Who's that
I'm
for?
like, good for you, man. Hang your wreath inside. You
Why would I
love
give
what you
that
love.
outside my decorations?
But I
bought
do
them.
think that it needs to be
That's where
outside.
wreaths go.
Doesn't need
this
to
one.
be. Most of
This
them
one,
are.
the fun part is you can actually put anything anywhere you want. And when you buy a good wreath, why would you put it? I'll buy like a $5 wreath that crumbles in the rain. I'll put that outside.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna waste a good wreath on strangers. They don't deserve that. They didn't earn any of it.
Spirit of Christmas.
That's the potato chips on a sandwich ethos that I think our people love and they crave from you.
Never potato chips, always sun chips. Get out of here.
Are sun chips not made from potatoes?
I don't think so. That's a great point, but I actually don't think so. I
Sun
think it's like
chips not good.
Oh, that's wrong.
Whoa, sun chips are not good.
Not good.
Get him, guys. Get him. He's out now.
Who will fight me? Summon your champion. It's me. I'm the champion. Harvest cheddar and garden salsa sun chips.
Yeah,
Spank
the champion.
90% of all of
The
chips.
champion
Harvest
of chips.
cheddar.
Yeah. Well, it's
me some-
because like when you go out to the cheese fields to harvest your cheese, it's harvested cheddar.
Sure.
Yeah, you've got.
When you harvest the cheese from your cheese plants.
You got to get your cheese rake. And you just,
Cheese scythe.
You just scrape.
yeah.
Cut it down.
You
I
stomp
use a
the cheese to
flamethrower
remove
and
the
turn
husk
it to queso. I harvest it as queso.
Oh, that's
and then
amazing.
chill it.
I just
Flash
use
chill
a
it.
flamethrower and one of those sucky tubes for children's nostrils. And I just suck up all the cheese. I want queso so bad right now. It is
Yeah, I would love some
8:43
cheese.
a.m. as the crow flies. and
I've had
anything
queso
with
earlier
cheese.
than that.
Yeah,
I
probably.
definitely
love it
have.
so much.
Callie makes fun of me because I like breakfast queso.
What is breakfast queso? Explain to me what breakfast
If I
queso
go to
is.
get breakfast tacos from a place, like if I go pick up breakfast tacos,
get
I'll
queso.
also get chips and queso. It's not
That's
Why
just
not?
queso. It's not breakfast queso.
That's queso during the breakfast time.
It's queso for breakfast, perhaps. is what I mean.
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
I love
think it's
breakfast. I love breakfast spaghetti, which is where you eat spaghetti for breakfast.
Hey, man, more power to you. More power to you.
Oy.
Oh, I'm so hungry now. I wasn't hungry
Yeah.
and now I'm starving.
As is the grand tradition of our podcast.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying the grand tradition of our podcast is that we have not even mentioned the movie.
No,
yet.
as is the grand tradition of our podcast, we've made ourselves
hungry?
impossibly hungry at
Just thought about what my
8:30 in
lunch
the
is
morning.
today, and I'm very excited.
What is your lunch? Sorry, it's a Christmas movie, so
No,
we'll
it's
talk
fine.
about it. But like,
it's an
what is-
86-minute movie. We're either going to say random things at the beginning or at the end. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's a place called La Bodega, which is just takeout only.
That name makes me excited.
Yeah, it's over in Bishop Arts. And
that translates to the bodega for everybody
it's
who's
really
not bilingual.
for it's kind of for it's a local joint because they do not run their establishment on the weekend because they're like, hey, this is for people that live in Oak Cliff.
Amazing.
We're not going to get blown up by a bunch of tourists. And it's good. It's good for business too. But we're going to do a half bird. They really just do rotisserie chicken and they do it perfectly. And then they have some salads and sandies and some most excellent French fries, all done in-house, all from scratch.
What are
Love
those
it.
French fries like? Are they the battered, crispy kind?
They
That's
are
in my
crispy.
head. Yeah.
They are crispy fries. They're kind of a clean crisp, if you know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Like just straight
And
up
they've got
potato.
a
let it talk?
they've got a spice on them that is the closest to serendipity. If you've had at
Yeah, yeah.
if you remember from the Chicken Express, But it's
Chicken
wonderful.
Express in years.
It's wonderful. It's nice to get have a bunch of chicken and fries and not feel like you can't.
You ever snag one of those Sandos from there?
Yes.
What's their
It's very
deal?
good.
Okay.
They'll do like a lot. It's all chicken stuff. So they'll do like a rotisserie chicken salad sandwich.
Ooh, do they do like a chicken Cuban or something? Like, do they get weird?
They
with
do.
It? Oh,
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
They put sun chips
good.
on it, probably.
La Bodega would be an easy thing for us to just pick up if you guys ever came on down.
Already sold.
You know, if you're
No, we
across
don't
the
see each
border.
other in person.
Yeah,
see me
that's
down
not
here in Dallas.
We can't.
Anyways.
the rock wall is much too high.
It is so high.
I am stuck behind this wall of rock.
Brian Jakes was like, "You can't come in here." He's a wall guy.
My favorite story about
Jokes only for
anthropomorphic
me.
animals. Rock wall.
He's a wall guy.
Aren't you in like a
rock
fan
wall.
club for Redwall Doge?
Yeah, I was part of the official Redwall fan club. I got letters from across the pond from
Official.
Brian himself.
Amazing dude.
Brian Jacques.
Brian.
Did you guys used to read it as Brian Jacques when you were a kid?
Yep.
Same.
I think I always knew
Hermione
Jacques.
Granger, Brian Jacques. There were a lot of things that I didn't know. When I heard Hermione back in 2002 on the screen, I was like,
shattered
what?
your brain.
That kind of rocked my world a little bit.
Hermione.
Hermione Granger.
Hermione. All right, let's talk about a movie.
Yes.
It's our action Christmas series, which I think we should tagline Pow Pow Ho Ho.
Sure. Whatever you want.
That's just
All right.
sort of me.
Why
Action Christmas.
4?
Pow Pow Ho
Why?
Ho. I don't know. Pow Pow Ho 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 didn't feel right. Pow
What
Pow
about
Pow
Pow?
Ho
Ho Pow
feels
Ho?
right. Pow Pow Po Pow Pow Ho Pow Ho?
No. We only need 3, like, because it's always ho ho ho.
Yeah.
So we can be like pow pow pow, or we can be ho pow ho, pow ho ho, ho ho pow, pow ho pow.
Ho Ho Pow's not bad.
Okay.
I think it is.
It is. I'm sorry. Let me explain. It's terrible, but it's not bad for what I'm looking for. The first movie in our Action Christmas
power ho-ho
series,
right now.
very excited to talk about, and it's a
Yes.
movie known as Jingle All the Way. Let's talk about it. Doge, give me a synopsis, please.
This week's IMDb synopsis
pervert.
is written by the ghost of Christmas Perfect, and that is Nick Reganis.
Oh, what
Nicholas.
a lovely Christmas gift.
Saint Nicholas Reganis, probably, actually. Jolly old Saint Nick Reganis writes, "This Christmas, only a miracle can get the workaholic and neglectful father, Howard Langston, out of the tight spot. One unfulfilled promise combined with an inadvertent mistake will have the desperate dad combing snowy Minnesota for an elusive toy and every boy's holy grail, Turbo Man, the ultimate action figure. At the end of his tether, Howard sets out on a frenzied odyssey to track down the precious gift amid hordes of equally inattentive parents and his relentless soon-to-be arch-nemesis, Myron, the manic postman. Now, under those dire circumstances, can Howard save Christmas and be, once more, the family's hero?"
Gosh, dude.
We have to reach out to Nick at some point. We have to find a way to contact him.
I don't
We
know
say this
how.
every time.
I don't know how.
We'll figure it out off air. We got to figure
We
it
can
out.
find him.
We
You
have
know who we need right now is Ludacris. He could find him.
Yeah.
why?
Because he's a hacker.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Everybody knows that.
Of course. Hey, this movie is so much better than it is.
Yes.
That's a pretty good way to put it.
That's 100% true.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
This movie sucks.
One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my
It's
life.
terrible.
This
and
is such a
I
bad
love
movie.
every
Yes.
second of this
Oh,
film. It's the best.
Yeah. Yep.
It is my favorite Christmas movie.
Okay, that's spectacular. Can you
That's
walk
amazing.
us through the history of this movie for you, please?
I mean, it is just something that, so I saw this movie in 1996, right?
Yeah.
So I remember when it came out and I loved it. I mean, Arnold was one of the Infinity Stones of like the Hollywood 90s. It's like
Exactly.
him,
This is a
Robin
money
Williams,
machine.
Tom
Yep.
Cruise, it was like anything that Arnold was in, I was down.
Sure.
And I just thought it was so funny. I kind of knew of Sinbad. He had been in a handful of things. He was a pretty regular on all that. Did you know that?
On all of that?
Yeah.
I must not have remembered.
Yeah, he was in
watched
Good
a lot of all
Burger, stuff like that. Anyways, this is just incredibly nostalgic for me. 1996 had a lot of nostalgia-flavored movies. Space Jam was in 1996. Mission Impossible was in 1996.
Wow.
There was a lot of really good movies. And I was looking at the box office, and this cracked the top 25, which is a big deal for a holiday movie. It made double what it cost
Good.
to produce this film. Made about $130 million, which is amazing. Domestic only. It was not a worldwide release. But it had a keen awareness of the times, which is a funny thing to say about a bad movie.
Yeah.
But I had not remembered the Cabbage Patch craze. That was probably the first in terms of consumerism that made the news.
I think that was like 92 or 93 that all exploded. That was like
maybe
the worst.
even late 80s for Cabbage Patch dolls. But 1996 was Tickle Me Elmo, which I had no
year this
interest
came
in.
out.
Yeah, I had no interest in, but the world was set aflame. I mean, this was, you had to get the Tickle Me Elmo. And so it just felt current when I watched it, but then it was ridiculous. I also remember at this point, I was 8 years old. I do know that around eight years old, I did know what was bad. Like that, I was like, okay, this movie sucks. My little brain had not seen my favorite movie, like Silence of the Lambs, Alien, things like that. But I knew Jurassic Park was amazing. That was good. That was like a well-made movie. I knew Lion King was amazing. And I watched this and I was like, this is dumb, but how fun. Like it is, I want to ask you guys, because I don't know how young y'all were when you first saw it, but the nostalgia side of things for me, I wonder if that's clouding how fun it is for me to watch this as an adult.
It's not at all, because I didn't see this movie until I was, I think, an adult or like late high school.
Really?
Okay. So this was fun with adult, like a fresh eyes.
This was not a family, this is not a yearly watch or anything for us. We were not a Jingle All the Way family. I might not have watched it until college.
Really?
But at the earliest, it would have been late high school, and this movie still owns. I love this.
I think probably earliest for me would have been seeing it on TV, like late elementary school. Probably like 4th or 5th grade.
I may have caught bits of it on TV, but I don't have a recollection of like.
But this isn't one of the ones,
thing.
like we didn't have this on tape and then upgrade our tape to DVD so we could watch this every year. Like we did with like the Santa Claus 2 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't one of those movies for us, but I think the nostalgia still hits because this is such a this is so pitch perfect late 90s. Like even if I didn't watch this exact thing when I was 4 years old, like it was things exactly like this when I was Turbo Man is just exactly Power Rangers, right? And so like that is enough to draw me in.
That was huge.
Nostalgia-wise. Yeah.
I
had my Power Rangers lunchbox.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna super dump here in 2 seconds, but I've decided on how we're gonna streamline some of this conversation, because let me tell you what is completely uninteresting to me is breaking down what works and what doesn't work in Jingle All the Way.
Right. Because I think, but the thing about Jingle All the Way is that every single decision they've made fits in both categories.
Yeah, 100%.
Every single thing. Arnold Schwarzenegger punching out a reindeer is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and also works perfectly in this movie.
That's why that is a much more interesting conversation.
And it has okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to super dump, because here's the thing. It's Jingle All the Way. It is stupid. This is a stupid movie. It's over the top 90s slapstick ridiculousness, and that is both why it is good and bad.
Do they make slapstick movies anymore?
Not really.
I feel like that was like an actual like complete chokehold, was like action star in a slapstick movie. That doesn't happen really anymore, does it?
For sure.
I guess it's probably all Minions like farting and stuff, and kids are like, love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to super dump.
Do it.
And my only super dump is simply that for a movie that reaches for an anti-consumerism message at the very end, the lesson that young Jamie learns is that it's cool because my dad is Turbo Man, not it's cool because giving to people is great.
Right.
Yeah. So when he gives the toy to Sinbad, it's not because, you know what, after all this, Dad, I love you so much. I have you. That's all I need here. And I think maybe that's what it's supposed to be. But he says, here's the toy. I wish it had been more like, yeah, Dad, I love you. I've learned
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
I don't need this toy. And instead it's like, are you kidding me? My dad is
Yeah,
Turbo
yeah.
Man. Take the toy. That's stupid.
I already have a better toy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my only
There is
super dumb.
nothing
can't critique
redeeming. Howard is not really redeemed.
No.
Howard just magoos his way into getting his son's love back. So now the veil is even denser to where like, hey, nothing says he's going to stop working all the time.
Hey, I have an
nothing
idea.
says he's going to stop forgetting.
We're supposed
What
to believe
you
like,
love.
look, he's transformed because he saved his son from falling off a big Christmas tree.
Yes,
like
the
60
bare
feet
minimum.
in the air.
Like, son stopped from death because I have an idea for a legacy sequel for this movie that plays a lot off of that concept, which I think would be very fun.
Jingle the rest of the way.
Well, so kind of, but my idea is that Jake is now a father and Howard is a grandfather, and instead of getting a toy, Jake's been working out of town and has promised his son
do you mean
he will be
Jamie?
home. Sorry, Jamie. Jake is the
Jake
real
Lloyd.
actor.
Yeah.
the heck is
Jamie has promised his
Jamie?
son that he will be
Jamie.
home for Christmas, and his flight has gotten canceled and he can't get another one. So Howard makes a cross-country road
Steps
trip
in, bro.
to go get Jamie and bring him back. But on the way, here's our emotional center, right? Because you need that, and especially in modern movies. Jamie kind of resents his dad for setting the bar so high for moving mountains for your son, that he feels he can't live up and has always felt like a failure as a father. And this is when Howard gets to say, all I did was make mistake after mistake, Jamie.
All I did was make mistake after mistake,
Everything I
Jamie.
did
I'm
was
telling you,
try
dude,
to be better. And then I kept failing again.
Add that emotional lesson, cast as many as the same actors as you possibly can.
Are you casting Jake Lloyd or Hayden Christensen?
Dude, that would be funny, actually.
That'd be really funny.
So the moment I realized that maybe Jingle All the Way was way more a staple at my own personal home as a child is when we got the first movie poster for Phantom Menace, and we've talked about this. It's
Jamie.
Anakin and the shadow is Vader, and everybody's like, oh my God. I was like, Jamie. And they're like, who? Who's Jamie? And someone's like, what deep Star Wars lore do you not know? And I'm like, no, Jamie. Jamie. It's Jamie.
Jamie. He says it with a CH all the time. Jamie.
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 I feel like we say Jamie as Arnie probably 50 times a year.
Yeah.
Like it's not every episode, but it
love
averages
it,
out.
dude.
Could be every episode.
Yeah.
Anytime there's some kind of Jamie in the cast of something or in a character
all
in a
the
movie.
time.
Lee Curtis.
Yeah, let's talk about Arnold.
Let's talk
Arnold. Super Pump. I mean, this couldn't have been Jingle All the Way also for me. Like Vin Diesel wishes into Pacifier that he could. Here's what's funny about Arnold.
Yes.
Isn't he, though?
That's so good.
We saw him, really, he was literally plucked from Mr. Universe competitions to go be the strongest man in history, right?
Terminator
to
was
play
his
Hercules.
first one, right?
Hercules.
Like his
No,
first big
Hercules
blockbuster?
in New York.
Oh,
well,
okay.
yes, true. Terminator was his first big blockbuster. And then he would also do, Commando and Predator. We've talked about that in our action series that we did. But he feels like one of the hardest workers, legitimately,
100%.
in Hollywood history. The fact that he went, like his career probably wouldn't have ended after Hercules in New York because it's just still like, hey, here's this guy. Like we started to late 70s, early 80s get pretty fascinated with like muscle boys.
Here's
And we
this
were like,
muscle
let's
boy
put
we
them
can
in all
do.
our Hollywood
Yeah.
things. Let's do all this. But Arnie came in and he worked his tail off and like legitimately got certain roles. Like he's really not a bad actor. I think he's infinitely more expressive than a lot of, there's probably buckets for like action heroes.
Sure.
You know, like Jackie Chan is one of the most expressive people in the world.
Jackie Chan's
but then
only
like
expressive.
our Stallones can only do so much. They can only really go. Stallone is like, I can be chill or really sad. And he does that really well.
Yeah.
And he could be excited pretty well.
Here's
But
what-
Arnie kind of went all over the place and was convincing as convincing as an
Dude,
Austrian
100%.
accent can be.
100%. Callie brought up last night that Arnold and John Cena fall into a similar category, different calibers, obviously, but similar category of like,
Sure.
just let them be them. Just give them the script. And you hire John Cena because you want John Cena in a movie, not because you want a good actor in a movie. You hire.
I mean, that was the worst thing about the most recent Fast and Furious.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Was why did we get Cena?
Why did we muzzle John Cena in that?
To make him Lundgren.
What? Exactly.
That's not what he's
Dude is
supposed
charming and charismatic. Let him be charming and charismatic. And this movie, Jingle All the Way, basically, it feels like they were just like, Arnie, dude, just
go.
Be Arnie, buddy.
So a lot of his interactions with Sinbad were completely improvised because Sinbad improvised most of his lines in this.
That's impressive to me from Arnie's perspective. And Sinbad. Sinbad's hilarious in this movie. But like from
6'4",
Arnold,
he's taller than Arnie.
Wow.
Yeah.
A big boy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, well, so Chris Columbus, shout out Thanksgiving. Chris Columbus,
Yikes! Shout out Real Monsters.
Same thing.
Produced. I'm just trying to do it. Chris Columbus. Hey, shout out, by the way. General American history, not quite in the same bucket. Chris Columbus produced this film. He was one of the producers for this movie.
Yeah, Home Alone,
And
Harry Potter, first two Harry Potters.
People were thinking Pesci at first for this role as Myron.
Oh, that would have been fun too, actually.
But what's so funny is they're like, no, height differential would really throw people off. And Arnold's like, but Danny and I do so many movies together. It's like DeVito is is more of a differential there. But yeah, Sinbad.
Sinbad was great. Sinbad's such a fun choice for this
movie, dude.
Yeah, but I think Dwayne The Rock Johnson has this.
See, to me, Dwayne wishes he had what Arnie has.
I don't think Dwayne has it.
I don't think Dwayne could pull off this level of
He did game
silliness.
plan. He did the game plan. The one where he's a football player who's allergic to cinnamon. And it doesn't pull, like, I don't think he can hit that because
that
Dwayne, I
movie's
think,
fine for a family movie, but it's not this.
it's not like this silly. I don't know that Dwayne is willing to enter into that silliness space because also, I mean, he's contractually obligated to bring in his writers to every project and also make sure he doesn't lose a fight. So it's like, there's a little bit of like, dude, stop playing the image stuff and just be a silly boy.
I feel like Arnie
went full silly.
Arnie went full silly.
He has this willingness that we see in this movie to be ridiculous. And because I think overacts everything in a fun way. I don't know, man.
That's so the difference is that there's like this affected machismo of like a lot of the Arnold replacements that we would have.
Yeah,
like who we could say like as a modern Arnold. It's like there's this level of like I'm not going to engage. Like Statham would never do a kids movie. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like any of these, like
not a good one. He would try and do one that like means something.
Yeah,
dude. Yes, he had already played one of the most iconic characters in Hollywood history. In T-800. Yeah. And he could have just stayed as that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He could have just been that guy. But he's like, no, I'll do Jingle All the Way. Which it wasn't like, I mean, he was offered 1/3 of their budget.
Sure, yeah.
He got $20 million for this movie in 1996. So that didn't hurt either. But yeah, I think that's a good point.
I think it goes, I
like
mean, and
he had all the room in the world to say no.
I don't think I've said it yet. Arnold is also my super pump.
Awesome.
But it's less his job in the movie.
He was
and
this
just like
close for me, dude.
It's the fact that he does this movie that represents who Arnold is, where he's just like, yeah, I'm down. That sounds so great. Let's make the dumbest movie I've ever heard of. This is awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, you already said it. He punches a reindeer.
Yeah. And it makes like a like we could have done the voice for the reindeer. They become drinking buddies.
Bro. I know. That's so stupid.
What a dumb
Arnold
movie.
becomes drinking buddies with a reindeer.
For this one.
But this movie knew it was dumb, though. That helps.
Yes. Arnold gets caught. Howard is caught in an FBI sting operation for underground black market Santa Claus gift smugglers.
Dude. Also, the big Santa was the giant. He eventually would become Big Show, but this is like, I was huge into
Big Show.
WCW and WWF and stuff when I was a kid, so I knew who this was. I was like, I can't believe they got him. Like, that was a big get.
Arnold is in the movie, and you're like, they got Big Show.
Whoa, holy crap, the giant dude. What?
The Santa Claus fight scene, talk about another thing that almost was my super pump.
Shout out John Belushi for randomly having a role in this movie.
James Belushi.
Jim Belushi, sorry.
Yeah. But dude, this This whole scene with the Santa Claus is so stupid.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
There was always, in any big fight, comedy or action or I don't know, anything in the 90s, there was always going to be one representative that was a martial artist, no matter what.
Yeah.
That would have
the candy cane
whatever the
nunchucks.
theme
and have
was.
the sound. You got to have that sound of like,
Yeah.
like always got to have, dude, this fight is genuinely, it's probably my third place pick. And we're talking within inches, my third place pick of what would have been Super Pumped. I just think this fight is spectacularly dumb in the best ways.
So stupid.
This movie,
They
pound for
throw
pound,
Vern
minute-
Troyer like 30 feet.
Vern Troyer flies across the warehouse to mirror Arnold flying across the warehouse mere seconds before after Mondo Claus punches him.
Mondo.
minute for minute, this movie from beginning to end is so... The 86 minutes have been packed.
It's optimized.
So perfect.
It's optimized.
There
It
is
is
so much that
fully
happens
optimized.
in these 86 minutes.
I found myself like being like, you know what? I'm just going to use the bathroom before. I could certainly get through the whole thing without having to stop
Yep.
it. Like it was just kind of like a Jingle All the Way is a bad movie that I want to pause. Does that make sense?
Yeah. 100.
It's like if I'm getting up to go get
100%,
something,
Carter.
well, I can't. Well, but I can't miss. Well, yeah, but I can't miss. There's like 30 of those in this movie.
Dude,
It's amazing.
Dr. Spachimin, I can't remember this dude's name right now for some reason.
Chris Parnell.
Chris Parnell as the store clerk. It's like
His first movie. Yeah. Just over the top.
It's so everybody's reaction, like, you big dumb idiot.
what's the
It's
term
all
of it?
sold out.
Yeah. There's a lot of Lampoonian type things to
big
this
time.
movie.
Yeah, that's good.
Big
that
time.
I think are great.
Sinbad brings a lot of that flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's one character that brings a lot of the flavor, and we might wait till after the
Let's
ads
wait
for
till
this
after
because
the
I think
ads.
it might be Jordan's
It is my Super Pump. Let's
Okay.
talk about it.
Okay.
It's the best
It was
part
a
of the
close
whole
number
movie.
two
It's the
for
best
me.
part of the whole movie. I love
Yeah,
it.
we'll talk about it after the
Talk
ads.
about it. Let's go to ads. Let's just go to ads right now so we can talk about it after.
Welcome to Shout Announcements, part of the show where we give shout outs, fake announcements.
I want to give a shout out
Yeah?
to the holiday season.
Whoop-dee-doo.
Holiday season.
I personally love this time of year. Can't speak for my co-host.
Wow.
But,
Outlier.
You know, I know it's sort of a weird, quirky thing about me, but I just love Christmas time.
Big
Yeah,
Christmas
weird.
guy, huh?
That's strange.
Big Christmas guy. But I'm just so excited that it's this time of year, and I'm so excited that we're doing Christmas movies. And I can't wait for more. Doge, do you want to tell us what's on the horizon?
If you look out to sea, you might see a small island coming into view, and that's because we are charting a direct course for a new release, Action Christmas. Can we say it here? Probably classic.
Ooh, it's gotta be.
It's got to be, right? With all the heat behind it, we're going to be talking about Violent Night next week, which is in the same realm of dumbness as Jingle All the Way. And
time.
I could not be more excited.
Yeah, I'm pumped out of my
Yeah.
gourd for this one.
Yeah.
Usually you guys say stuff too.
That's true.
Yeah, if you want to talk to us, like if you want to talk about Christmas or movies or even video
You
games
need
or
dating
sports,
advice.
you can all find it in our personal phone numbers, but we're not going to give those out. But you can also go to Discord. We have the Discord $5 Patreon tier, which gets you everything that the $3 does. And so you can also do $3. We realize it's the holiday season. You're spending money on the fam. The budget might hit the red a tad, but red's a Christmas color, and that's fine.
That's true.
So is green. But the $3 tier, which gives you an extra vote in our voting series, which as we begin to plan 2023, we definitely will make sure that there are series that need your vote, and you get our Patreon episodes. Our most recent Patreon episode being Barbarian.
Yes, sir.
We were in the Chunktober season. We
We got another one on deck
a lot
for
of baby.
Another one on deck for December.
Another one on deck for December, which I think will be Avatar,
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
because we're going to be ready for that Avatar
Joe's
Way of
excited about
Water.
it.
Avatar
Those
Way of
excited
Water is going to
about it.
rip, guys. It's going to be a good movie.
It's going to rip. And the $5 tier gives you that Discord to where you can come hang out with us, really, is what it feels like. And that community continues to grow. I think our, what do you call it, when you kind of get a new subscriber and you keep them. Retention?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
that? Our retention is high in the Discord channel, I think.
Why wouldn't it be? It's perfect.
Well, it's because it's the Hotel California.
It is basically perfect. It's as perfect as the scientific cinema scale, some say. But come over and join us.
And tell your friends. Send the show to somebody you love. That's the best way to grow a podcast. Organic growth through word of mouth. And you are the mouth and the words are us. So let us word your mouths.
That's actually a good point.
This holiday season, Peloton's got a gift for you. Get up to $200 off accessories with the purchase of a Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread. And take your workout to the next level with accessories like non-slip grip dumbbells, a heart rate monitor, cycling shoes, and more. Peloton, motivation that moves you. This limited time offer ends December 25th. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer ends December 25th. Cannot be combined with other offers. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
It only happens once a year. JCPenney's cyber deals are back in store and at jcp.com. Through Wednesday, fill your cart with deals like Yes Please diamonds and gemstones now $19.99 each. Or use your coupon inside the JCP app to save up to 50% on small appliances and cookware from top brands like Keurig, Cuisinart, Calphalon, and more. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers good on select items through 11/30. Exclusions apply. Jewelry excluded from coupons. See store or jcp.com for details.
Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
My super pump is Phil Hartman.
Dude, wow.
What an absolutely baffling decision.
Uh-huh. No reason for this man to be delivering everything he's delivering to us. He's bringing smarm. He's bringing slime. He's bringing charisma. He's the best character in this movie to me.
He's so funny.
Dude, he's so funny. I think the cookie scene. I think chains on tires. I think gross come on in the car.
It's yeah.
He's a yucky boy, and I'm eating up every bite, every delicious morsel. It's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
I think that he delivers this sort of different flavor of comedy from everything else in this movie that is so refreshing. Not that this movie needs a refresh. That's what works so well about it to me, is that this movie is not in need of like a breath of fresh air because it's so fun. And yet we get this breath of fresh air that is Phil Hartman and is exactly what I needed to go into giggle overdrive for this movie.
Yeah. There is, it feels like a good kid movie does have a little something for the parents.
For sure, always.
Yeah. It's like when you go trick-or-treating and someone's like, Jello shots. But Phil Hartman's character was for my parents in 1996. It was
I certainly didn't understand what was going on whenever I watched this as a small kid.
So like current SNL vibes, obviously, with him being a cast member. It was he's for the parents. And I think he's something that helps it age like a fine wine.
And you know
this movie.
what's interesting? First of all, I completely agree. He's a big part of why this movie continues to work, because I find that frequently in kids' movies, either the kids' jokes or the adult jokes suffer. Like one is far better than the other.
Yeah.
Pixar tends to thread this needle very well. DreamWorks, especially early DreamWorks, really thread this needle very well. But a lot of kids' movies, it seems like it's pretty funny for adults, but kids maybe not super into it, or vice versa. This hits that bullseye, man. It is whimsical and ridiculous for kids, but Phil Hartman comes in and makes it hysterical for adults. I could watch him realize that his like angel statue thing head is in front of him on the lawn. His face and how
Balthazar.
Balthazar. Like, amazing that he knew.
Every word out of his
Balthazar.
mouth. Every word out of his mouth.
Goodness
is gold.
me, dude.
Gosh,
Yeah.
it's so dumb.
Oh, Howard.
I agree.
Your wife's
And he's in
cookies
his,
are
like-
incredible.
Yeah. He's in his house that is on its way to being on fire, but still leaves Arnold there, leaves Howard there.
Yeah.
Because they still got to get to the parade. Like, that's so ridiculous and so funny to me. Something that was not funny to me, Jordan, if you don't mind, did we still want to wax?
No, that's it. That's it, baby.
Okay. So I personally, in 1996, I had said earlier, I like the awareness of this movie in terms of current events. Like Tickle Me Elmo was a big deal. And so there's like something that you can relate to that's like, oh, that's funny. Power Rangers, things like that.
Yes.
But the inclusion of U.S. mail bomb, to me, the year after the Oklahoma City bombing
Yeah, pretty
was rough.
Yeah, it's tough.
pretty tasteless.
Like, oh no. Like it's one, but the 90s, dude, so insensitive.
Yeah.
The 90s was also very much about like, man, how funny are fat people?
Right.
Yeah.
And, it was just, but among all of that, to have this, and it would have been one thing, I don't know. It just doesn't need to be there. I think they wanted the Wile E. Coyote of it.
Yeah,
it's like,
the
hey, a
bomb
bomb
is
that doesn't
basically
do
like
damage.
just ash.
Yeah. It's like, hey, the bandits from Home Alone should have for sure died, but they're cartoons.
Exactly.
And so I think there was another way to do that besides having Sinbad. I think what probably happened is, I bet Sinbad improv'd a lot of him talking about the bomb.
Yeah.
Right? You know how crazy the world is these days and stuff. But now, like, to imagine people like laughing at that when like it's fresh. I think months ago we had the bombing. And it's just, that was a big bummer for me.
That's your super dump?
Yeah, that's my super dump.
I get that actually. I think that's a very valid super dump. And it does come across as insensitive. And I even found myself watching last night kind of cringing a little bit and then being relieved when the bomb was virtually nothing, even though that doesn't matter. Yeah, it's still insensitive. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think I've got two gripes or grumps with this movie.
Sure.
Only two. And I don't know which of them is a super dump. One of them, I feel bad about it being my grump, but here it goes. And you tell me if this is allowed to be a super dump or not. I think that Jake Lloyd is pretty bad. And I understand he's a small baby human, but
You can. Yeah.
You're allowed
but
to
he's-
do super dump anything.
he's bad, like really bad. Like even for a kid
In the 90s
even for a
and
kid
the
in the late 90s. Yeah.
Well, the 80s was what I think is the golden decade of child
actors,
stars.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then you had the 90s where we still had, we had Macaulay Culkin. dude.
exactly.
Like,
Jonathan
like-
Taylor Thomas. What's he doing?
Exactly.
right now, you know?
yeah.
Jake Lloyd was pretty bad in this, and I do wonder if he was already cast in Star Wars, and if there was anybody saying, "Oh,
That's 3 years later.
Oh, no.
So I don't know.
oh no," because to me that's enough of a red flag to be like, we can't put this kid in Star Wars. Like he's cute, he's cute, and he does fine in Star. I mean, it's the thing is like you can't really.
Sometimes, Grandpa.
It's kind of crappy for me to be a grown adult being like, this kid is bad at stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but
Yeah, but like he doesn't do a good job as far as child actors are concerned. And
Yeah. I just don't know. I guess a lot of the good child actors that I'm thinking of were in like some pretty esteemed movies. I guess you're not taking as much care in that for your child actor in a movie like Jingle All the Way.
right,
But
but he gives an identical performance in Star Wars
yeah.
a few years later.
yeah, he's not good.
Right.
And his career would end basically after
Well,
that.
because
I
people
think.
were so mean to him. Like
People were awful to him.
a really rough
People like
reaction.
you, Doge.
people like me, and I'm jumping in on that bandwagon.
Good. And that's the
All
moral
aboard.
of our podcast is
My
dunk on child actors.
My other grump is
What's your actual super dump?
that's what I'm trying to say is like it's either Jake Lloyd or this other thing
we're
I'm about to
choosing.
talk about, and I want you guys to choose.
No, I'm not gonna let you off the hook like that.
In the fiction of this universe, we have decided that it is easier to create real Turbo Man and real Dementor rather than use any kind of special effects on our television show. And we know that because Arnold has a fully functional, actual legitimate, real Turbo Man suit. And Sinbad ends up in a real, fully functional Diminder suit where he can launch his fist off of his body and then suck his fist back onto his body.
I don't understand the problem.
That's dumb.
Yes.
That's dumb. That kind of
That's
bugged
when
me.
you get.
Yes, dude.
Hold up. That's when you're like, hey, I'm not trying to eat fried food anymore, but are pork rinds really fried?
I could handle
I bet if I have one
the
of
100 Santa Brawl. I could handle
Because there's
the
a difference
bomb not
between-
killing anybody. I could handle running away from the FBI, but I draw the line at jetpacks.
So that's the thing is like, let's compare it to Home Alone, right? Let's talk about Home Alone for a second.
Yep.
Home Alone has all of the slapstick flavor of a bomb that doesn't do anything,
Sure.
100 Santa Brawl. But if the climax of that movie, if I give Kevin McAllister a real jetpack and make him a real actual superhero, that breaks it a little bit
It's
to
a
me.
full point better. Yeah.
That breaks it a little bit to me, where it's like there's a difference between plausible and
It does go crazy.
it breaks it a little bit for me. And I love the end of it, but it does break it a little bit for me, where it's like, oh, this is like, I imagine Santa himself showing up now and being like, the real gift was the relationship you earned with your father.
It wouldn't even surprise me if that happened.
Yeah.
I just don't think
Does
it's been that
anybody
movie up to
else-
this point.
Does anybody else want to be in the sound booth when Arnold has to do his flying grunts?
Yes. Specifically his 80-yard yell when he reaches the zenith of his ascension and then falls. And he's like, ah! Like it's not even a full-throated yell. Everything you're saying, Doge, for this part, makes me like this movie more.
Explain that, Rules Boy. Because we've established that this takes place in pretty much the real world.
I'm sure you turn the rules off for things, right?
Yeah, so I would say the rules for me become a stickle when the movie has taken itself and its rules and its world seriously.
Okay.
I would argue that at no point in this film has it ever once been like grounded.
Sure. I would agree. I think
So
it's
I'm
a
all
different it's a different kind of stupid whenever
The
they
good
become the
It is
actual.
escalated, yeah.
It's different than what has happened in the movie before. And
That
it's
is true.
a pretty late twist to throw in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I laugh out loud a lot in this movie, but I do think my biggest is when Howard takes off the Turbo Man
His
mask.
face doesn't change at all.
And his family is aghast. His family is like, but what's so funny, y'all, is if you watch it back, the whole crowd seems to know their relationship.
Yeah. They clap.
Because they're like, oh, it is his dad. Like, who knew that you've never met Howard unless he sold mattresses to all of Minneapolis.
Maybe he did.
You have not.
Here's the thing.
You have not met him.
I feel like if there was a big muscle boy selling beds in my city, if there was a guy who looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger who was like, come buy a bed from me, I would absolutely know who
My number
he
one
is.
customer. Number one customer. But they're so shocked and nothing. Dude, he had a visor on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
could
so
see
that's
through
my
it.
thing. The moment he takes the helmet off, there is no visual
Like taking off your
difference.
shades.
Dude, it's not even like taking off your shades. It's like taking off regular glasses. There's no visual difference in his face. Howard?
Hey, Clark Kent did it, dude. It's a Clark Kent. It's a Clark Kent.
And the fact that Jamie and his wife both are like, oh my God, it's Howard.
Oh my God.
Like,
Jamie,
lady,
I'm your father.
Lady, you are married to Mr. Universe. You don't recognize that bod, that accent? They never acknowledge his accent for even a second. Why doesn't Jamie have an accent?
Did Jingle All the Way have a tease before the rest of the world knew that Jake, what's his name?
Jake Lloyd. Yep.
Jake Lloyd was going to be Anakin.
I am your father.
Did that? He doesn't really, it gets cut off, right?
Yep.
Like in the oh, we're not going to make that joke. But it doesn't exist yet.
Right.
Empire does, certainly. But like, why would we keep that from people? I wonder. I wonder.
Also
Because
had
we
a,
knew.
also had a,
They must have known he was going to be Vader.
also had a sequel tease post credits.
Yeah. Yep.
I totally forgot about that.
They're just eating dinner.
Oh.
No?
She says, "What did you get me for Christmas?"
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that now. I did not watch it this most recent time. But yeah, Jamie. You. Like when he says who's going to give the super... Like, Jordan, I love your super dump. And the more I think about it, there is not a lesson learned in this agenda way.
Not even a little bit. There's nobody grows an inch. Even Sinbad at the end isn't like, oh man, I went crazy. I shouldn't have done any of that. It's just a toy. There's no need for this. He's just like, we're cool, right?
Yeah,
Hey,
this is
kid,
the
we're
rare
cool, right?
This is the rare Christmas movie that's like the real meaning of Christmas is getting the best
Is
toy.
the toy, yeah.
Is the toy, absolutely.
Yeah.
The toy is the real meaning of Christmas.
I think we're into the like Farleying just a tad.
It's fine.
Which, shout out Will Arnett. That's one of his best friends. It's not Will Arnett. That's not his name.
What?
Talking about Jim Belushi? Phil Hartman?
No.
Yeah.
Phil Hartman. What the heck, bro? It's just
Although,
they had
I'm going to say, Will Arnett could have done that same role.
He could do it.
Very
He totally
similar
could have.
flavors.
Phil Hartman and Chris Farley were very, very good friends. So, hence the Farleying. But when Sinbad is running Myron as the U.S. Postal Service, which the world has always hated the U.S. Postal Service, it's very unfair. But he's throwing out people's mail so that he can be lighter
faster.
when he's running was so funny.
Everything that Sinbad does in this entire movie is funny.
Yes. Just about everything. Yeah.
It's just almost everything that Sinbad does in this movie is funny.
Running through the Mall of America was super fun. Very 90s. Everything around us is 90s.
Also, Sinbad is a superhero in this movie, and his superpower is knocking over displays that have a bunch of stuff on them. This dude is responsible for about 500 cassettes on the ground.
Yeah.
40 bouncy balls and action figures all hitting the... Like, everything he touches just collapses into a slide that shoots all of its accoutrement off onto the floor.
This movie kind of shot on site. I don't know how many sets there were, if any of the home scenes were a set. So like 20 million of the 60 million of this movie just goes straight to Arnold's hands.
Spent.
Straight to his jaw muscles. But where's the other 40 million in this movie going?
Turbo Man scene.
Yeah, the CG of the Turbo
I think
Man
that's
scene.
it. That's when we get our extra crazy.
That CG is atrocious.
It is
the
really
actual
bad.
flying, the fully CG'd Arnold flying around is actually very Quidditch, very early Quidditch. But
Just
the rest of
a
it,
gooey man.
Yeah. But the rest of it is even worse.
Did you guys, are you aware of the existence of Jingle All the Way too?
Yeah, with Larry the
Yes,
Cable Guy.
dude.
Larry the Cable Guy?
And that's all I give it is an awareness of its existence.
You
I
wanna-
would never watch that movie.
You want to hear Nick Reganis' synopsis for it?
More than anything.
Larry, a divorced part-time truck driver, finds himself neck-deep in trouble when he discovers that his 8-year-old daughter, Noelle, wants the hard-to-get Harrison the Talking Bear toy for Christmas. Before long, he and Victor, the incredibly rich new husband of his ex-wife Trish, will lock horns, vying for Noelle's attention in a frenzied quest to find Harrison during the season's few remaining days left. Now there can only be one winner. Will Noelle get this year's hottest new toy? So it's this.
The same thing.
100%. The exact same thing.
Same but different.
Except you have to watch Larry the Cable Guy
Yeah. So
instead
worse
of Arnold.
Then worse.
It is time to rate this movie, not Jingle All the Way 2, but Jingle All the Way, the original. And we're going to rate it using the scientific cinema scale, which is perfect and as follows. The best thing we could ever say about a movie is own it, don't lend it.
Buy that poster.
The next best thing is buy it. That's followed by rent it and then stream it. After that is forget it. And last but certainly least, the worst thing we could ever say about a movie. God hath forsaken us.
Might I read to you
I saw
critic
you giggling at
consensus
something. I knew it.
of Jingle All the Way? First of all, the audience score was double the critic score.
Not
Audiences
shocking.
actually gave it 38% to critics 19%. We were talking about Rotten Tomatoes critics of just being like, why? Rotten Tomatoes critics can't turn off or turn on the silly. I don't really know.
You have to be able to judge a movie based on the watching experience sometimes. There are definitely movies where it's like, yes, let's pick it apart and let's analyze it because it wants you to do that and it holds up to scrutiny. But then there's movies like
It
this
invites
where it's like,
that. This does not invite that kind of vibe.
No, dude. There's movies like this where it's like, just enjoy Jingle all the way, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, real
In
quick,
the culture
why
of
is it
those
called
critics or
Jingle All
whatever.
the Way?
I don't know. No idea.
Did they ever sing Jingle Bells in this movie?
You're asking, dude, these questions, I don't understand, man.
Anyway.
Arnold Schwarzenegger tries his best, but Jingle All the Way suffers from an uneven tone,
Boo.
shifting wildly from a would-be satire on materialism to an antic slapstick yuckfest.
Yes, thumbs up.
What do you...
It's true. It's all true. This is all true.
The Dark
I buy
Knight
the
is a
poster.
brooding,
Wait,
dark,
wait.
and grim movie.
You didn't hear what Carter said.
Oh, I heard it. I was just in the middle of my thing.
I buy the poster for
Yes,
Jingle
you
All the Way.
do. Of course
Big-
you do.
This is my favorite Christmas movie. It is so perfectly bad. And it could not have existed without, we talked about because of my goof, but like Will Arnett could have technically been Phil Hartman, which was Jordan's super pump. But this doesn't happen without Arnold Schwarzenegger. It doesn't even get made. There's no blip on the radar.
We're not even
unless Arnie comes
considering
in
reviewing this
and
movie
says,
if it's not for Arnie.
I will be a goofy mattress salesman. This man, that means Howard, in canon of Jingle All the Way, looked in the mirror at the age of 25. And he said, you know what? I think I'd do better in sales. He just looked at himself in the buff and was like, I think it's going to be mattress sales.
This is a
for
body
me.
for mattresses.
This is a body for mattress selling. It's awful, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way. Buy the poster.
That's 2 Jake Lloyd posters you got on your wall, Carter.
That's true, dude.
You're a big Jake Lloyd guy, I guess, in the late 90s.
What's the other Jake Lloyd?
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace.
Oh, yeah, dude. Of course.
You should write him a letter.
Yeah, your two
about
movies
Jake
are my
Lloyd.
favorites.
I, for one, appreciate you, Jake Lloyd.
My friend thinks you're the worst part about both movies you've ever done, but I think you're the best. I'm buying Jingle All the Way. My heart wants to buy the poster so badly. My heart wants to buy the poster. I cannot bring myself to do it. I am buying Jingle All the Way with the asterisk of I have watched this many times since my first watch and will watch it many, many more times.
Do you think if you saw it at 8, it goes up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
probably.
Yeah.
It's the same
There is
reason
such a
that
thing
I
about
would
that
now,
necessarily.
I don't remember what I actually gave it because I think I was still trying to be like a critic when we first started this podcast, but I would give the Santa Claus 1 starring Tim Allen a buy the poster today because it is so steeped, absolutely
It was like
riddled.
central to Christmas for me.
Dude, that movie and Home Alone 2, it's not Christmas if I have not watched those 2 movies.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get where you're coming from 1,000%.
I'm going to buy Jingle All the Way.
Love it.
And the dosage instructions are that I will never watch this by myself. And Jess hadn't seen it until now. She'd seen it like maybe on TV, but she didn't remember what it was.
Oh.
And so now we've exhausted that combination. We'll never watch it just the 2 of us again. I will only watch this to show somebody who has either never seen it or forgotten about it because I think like the hey, come with me, trust me, this is wild.
The
is the best
experiential
part.
watch of this movie. Yeah.
Is the best part of Jingle All the Way. Of like, do you remember Jingle All the Way? No, I don't really think I know what that is. You want to watch a Christmas movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah, I guess. And then just
This felt...
letting it happen to that person is choice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's one of my favorite moments, and I think y'all would all share this. If one of the 3 of us have seen something like this,
Yeah.
I think for me, maybe that was Prince of Thieves.
Oh yeah, that was big. That was a big moment for us watching that.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said for when you have like friends that come over, especially friends that you don't get to see all the time, so you haven't exhausted them with all of the movies that you love.
Yeah.
And when you have a friend come over and you're like, you haven't seen How I Married Catwoman? Oh my god.
You haven't seen Super Mario Bros?
Right.
Dude.
Exactly. There's something to
Cutthroat
that.
Island. You haven't seen Cutthroat
That's
Island?
magic. Oh, I kind of want to watch that again.
Yeah.
I
Oof.
kind of want to watch that movie again just a little bit. Hey, thank you.
I was talking, was it on this podcast that we were talking about how Jupiter Ascending had a connection a little bit to Namor And the way he was flying around.
No.
Someone brought that up to me.
Oh, yeah,
It
the
was
rocket
like,
boots.
Oh,
Yeah, it did look like that, didn't it?
This is how you do that. This is how you make that look
Very
cool.
funny. Didn't even think about it. Hey, thank you for listening to our podcast about Jingle All the Way. Next week, we're going to be talking about Violent Night, which, I mean, just looks amazing.
It seems pretty silly to me.
I'm pretty excited about it. I really can't wait to watch it. It's going to be really fun.
Very
So please tune in for
It's
that.
rated R, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, this one's for adults.
It's finally a Santa for men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm tired of this soy tofu man bun Santa.
The
Give me.
sissification of Santa. Actually, this Santa does have a man bun, though.
He does have a man bun. Since I have grown my hair out
definitely
and
does.
started putting it up, if you are 60 years of age or older, I just expect you to come say something snarky about my hair.
Welcome to it.
Gosh, no problem when it was just long and dangly. No problems there. Nobody said a word. But as soon as it went up on the top of my head, it's like, what's your deal, man? What are you
I
doing?
don't think I like that. Well, great. Appreciate the input.
That's how it goes. It's okay. It's okay. You're allowed to not like my hair. That's fine. That's allowed. Listen, to end today's episode, I'd like for each of us to say our name and what toy from our childhood we would go to these lengths to retrieve. For 2 Chunks and a Hunk, my name is Jordan Wonders, and this one's easy for me. It's going to be a Game Boy Advance, specifically the SP version, but really any Game Boy Advance. I got a Nintendo 64 when I was pretty young. I got a GameCube. I loved them all, but the Game Boy was a special thing as a kid, and I had a color, but that Advance, that jump in graphic fidelity and ergonomic design,
Looks like real life in the palm of my hand.
I adored my Game Boy Advance, and I was obsessed, and I absolutely would have trampled my way through a major metropolitan area just to make sure I got my hands on one, specifically the Arctic Blue clear ice Game Boy Advance.
I'm Doge, and at the point in time when this came out, my holy grail of toy, I'm not even sure that it existed, but I wanted more than anything fully screen accurate Buzz Lightyear, Woody, and RC, the remote control car.
Yeah.
And every single Buzz or Woody or RC that I saw at the store was like, here's Buzz with a rocket jetpack, or here's Buzz. And I just feel I want the classic.
Dude, they definitely had regular
Unadulterated.
movies.
Exist. I had a Buzz.
Yeah,
Was
they
it
definitely had
unadulterated, completely plain Buzz?
Unadulterated.
Maybe I just never saw it. I never could. I ended up never getting them.
beam on the wrist
Yep.
and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
And had the preset Buzz Lightyear to the rescue.
Yep.
Had all the, and his wings popped open.
Yeah. That's what I wanted, man.
Had that. I'm Carter, and September 29th of 1996, the Nintendo 64 was released in the United States. And that was it. That was the one. I don't think I got one in 96. It was tough.
Tough times out there.
Some people were smuggling things from Japan because it had been released maybe 5-6 months earlier over there. I think I got one 2 or 3 years after it
Same,
came
dude.
out.
I got mine Christmas
And it was-
98. I remember it.
And it was that classic gray.
Yeah.
That's so funny that was their choice for the base.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? It already costs so much for technology
can't
things
spend
these
on
days.
paint.
We can't be
Well,
painting
the 64 was black.
it. Mine was gray. Yeah,
There was
the actual
gray ones.
Nintendo 64 itself was gray in the spirit of the Super Nintendo and whatnot. But yeah. And then I had the gray controllers, 2 gray controllers. And, was playing WCW versus NWO on that. And the Giant was there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you remember when
Remember
he
from
was
being
Santa
Big Santa?
in Jingle?
I'm not doing a thing here. I'm not being sarcastic. Is this what you're referring to as gray? Okay,
Yeah,
I was
my
calling
bad.
it black.
It's like a dark gray.
I was calling it black. We were saying the same thing. I was making sure I wasn't going insane just now.
And isn't that what we could all use a little more of this Christmas? Can't we just meet in the middle and talk things out, folks?
Do you guys
Let's have
remember
some
when they
peace
released
on Earth.
the extra memory thing with the red, the red perforated top that you had to drop into the front of, and you had to do that from, I remember Majora's Mask specifically. You couldn't play unless you had that extended memory.
Add the RAM.
Did you guys have a Rumble Pack? for your controller?
I did not. I did not have a rumble pack.
I did have a
a
rumble
rumble
pack.
pack.
We're out here.
That thing was so huge.
We're out here not even
That
able
was like
to
a
afford a
car
real
part.
Buzz Lightyear. Of course, I don't have a rumble pack.
I remember I had the
It was a car part.
I had the purple clear controller. Maybe worst controller of all time. The N64 controller. Terrible design for a video game controller. Man, N64 might be the most nostalgic Christmas present I ever received.
It's way
That's
up
fun.
there for me. Probably most nostalgic.
That's
for
so
me.
fun. Wow. Okay. See you next week for Violent Night.
This holiday season, Peloton's got a gift for you. Get up to $200 off accessories with the purchase of a Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread. And take your workout to the next level with accessories like non-slip grip dumbbells, a heart rate monitor, cycling shoes, and more. Peloton, motivation that moves you. This limited time offer ends December 25th. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer ends December 25th. Cannot be combined with other offers. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
This holiday, whether you're making a Kroger Simple Truth Turkey for 40 or a Murray's Baked Brie for 2, Kroger has fast, fresh delivery and free pickup, so you can make holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Choose from a great selection of digital coupons and use them up to 5 times in one transaction. Check our app for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It only happens once a year. JCPenney's cyber deals are back in-store and at jcp.com. Through Wednesday, fill your cart with deals like Yes Please diamonds and gemstones now $19.99 each. Or use your coupon inside the JCP app to save up to 50% on small appliances and cookware from top brands like Keurig, Cuisinart, Calphalon, and more. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers good on select items through 11/30. Exclusions apply. Jewelry excluded from coupons. See store or jcp.com for details.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you more of what you love, like premium travel benefits and access to Taylor Swift tickets. Oh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. Plus, get access to Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, presented by Capital One. Maybe I'll see you there. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.